Do you work for a nonprofit or government agency and have federal student loan debt? The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, or PSLF, is a path that could completely eliminate your federal debt burden. So what exactly is PSLF? Simply put, it's a fantastic opportunity for people who have dedicated their careers to helping others, like school teachers, firefighters, nurses, local or state government employees, or 501c3 nonprofit employees. Let's break down the requirements. First, you need to have direct loans. However, if you have other types of federal loans more common among older adults, like FFEL or Perkins loans, don't despair. You can often consolidate or merge your loans into a new direct consolidation loan, which would become eligible for PSLF. Second, you need to have made 120 monthly qualifying payments, or about 10 years worth. But what makes a payment qualifying? This means that you made the payment while enrolled in an income-driven repayment, or IDR plan, where monthly payments are based on income. Even if your payment amount was $0 a month under an IDR plan, it still counts. Unfortunately, payments made while your loan was in default, or time spent in some types of forbearance or deferment, a pause on your payments, usually don't count. Third, you need to be working full-time for a qualifying public service employer, municipal, state, federal government, or military, or one of many qualifying 501c3 nonprofit organizations while you make your payments. You must be working at least 30 hours per week. This still counts if you have many part-time jobs. For example, if you have one part-time job where you work 10 hours per week and another where you work 20 hours per week, together, they count as qualifying employment. Fourth, you need to be employed full-time by a qualifying public service employer when you apply for forgiveness. That is, when you reach your 120 payments and submit your paperwork. Unfortunately, even if you worked your whole career in public service but you retired without applying, you will not be eligible. To remedy this, you would need to start working again at a qualifying employer for at least 30 hours per week and apply again. You might be thinking, how do I keep track of all this? The good news is, it's very straightforward. To make sure your payments count, you need to submit an Employer Certification Form, or ECF, in your studentaid.gov account every year. You can use the PSLF Help tool to send the forms directly to your employer for electronic signature, which makes the process much faster. If you worked for a qualifying employer earlier in your career but never submitted an ECF, you can submit paperwork with your former employer to get credit towards PSLF. Here's a helpful tip. Once you think you've reached 120 qualifying monthly payments, you can submit one last ECF, which will also serve as your application for PSLF forgiveness. You can now track your monthly payment progress in your account at studentaid.gov and looking for the box that says PSLF/TEPSLF payment progress. You can view the details for each qualifying month and see a payment summary for any months that did not count towards PSLF loan forgiveness. If you have more than one loan, each loan's progress will be tracked separately, so they may qualify at different times. PSLF can be life-changing for older student loan borrowers. When your loans are canceled through PSLF, the forgiven balance will not count as taxable income on your federal taxes. At AARP Foundation, we want to make sure you are on your best path forward. Be sure to submit your ECF forms annually, especially when you change jobs, and track your qualifying payment history regularly. If you haven't quite reached the 120 payments yet, keep going. You've got options, and you have our support along the way.